David Hochberg's here. Hey, David, you're a sports guy as well. And, John, I don't know if you heard this, but Jennifer King is the Bears' first ever female assistant coach.
I did read that yesterday, yeah.
She'll be an assistant running backs coach coming up this season. She was with Ron Rivera in Washington.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Pretty cool.
David Hochberg's here. The show, the greater effort, I guess is a better way of putting it, the Get Behind the Vest effort actually started here.
Yep.
And you continue with Get Behind the Vest. First off, explain, if you would, please, why we need to help cops pay for these bulletproof vests.
Because the city is so backwards and got its head buried up their rear ends, and they do not buy replacement vests for Chicago police officers. They give them a bulletproof vest when they graduate from the academy, and a bulletproof vest has to be replaced every 5 years just due to weather and body changes and wear and tear and degradation of the material. The manufacturer recommends every 5 years. So every local police force in the Chicagoland area, including the Illinois State Police, provides bulletproof vests for all of their officers except the city of Chicago.
And unbelievable.
That's why Get Behind the Vest started.
Yeah.
And you are doing it again. This is a big week.
Yep.
And how do people contribute if they want to help?
CPDvest.com. It's Chicago Police Department, CPDvest.com. Our goal is to raise enough money to buy 400 vests, which would be $200,000 because a vest is about $500. And then the SWAT team's ballistic vests go up to $2,500. And our goal is to raise as much money as we can so the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation that buys these replacement vests for officers who can't afford it can then move that money from their budget over to take care of families of injured and officers who have been injured on the job and have made the ultimate sacrifice and have been killed in the line of duty. So we're just trying to provide the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation as much money as possible so they can move that money over and put it to better use.
And I sponsor at least one vest or two every single year. And if you can pull it off, please do that.
Well, it
or
goes,
as a company do it.
Right.
Listen, it's $500 to buy a vest. You've been
minimum.
Minimum. And you've been very generous, and a lot of listeners have been very generous. John DeCoste, I haven't seen his name on the roster yet. It'd be nice for you to show up this year.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that show that we did and we raised money. But whatever.
Oh, that's right.
Right. Oh, yeah. How about that?
Wow.
How about that, Dave?
It's a true story.
Thank you to Second City.
We did a benefit at Zany's.
That backfired on me.
We did a benefit at Zany's for Get Behind the Vest. We raised a few $1,000s.
Yes,
it was good.
It was very good.
And we were like halfway through the show, goes, well, where's Hochberg?
I don't mean that in a bad way.
That's right.
Yeah, where's Hochberg?
Yes,
We call
yes.
Hochberg. He's at home.
No.
It was a high holiday.
It was a high holiday.
Jewish holiday,
Yeah.
which I mistakenly didn't know
Good
when
booking.
I planned it. I'm like, I'll be praying.
I know. It's true.
So thank you to Zanies. And so here, in all seriousness, a lot of listeners, for obvious reasons, for many reasons, can't afford $500. But if we could get 100 listeners, each donating $5, we get a vest. And that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to buy
$5.
Mm-hmm.
$5. I mean, just cpdvest.com. 100% of the funds is going to the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation. We're not keeping anything for administrative costs. And we've got a bunch of great things to give away. Dan Hampton signed a bunch of footballs.
That's
Chris
great.
Celli has signed 5 bottles of El Bandito tequila, a couple of sweaters. Savard, Olchek, I texted with Eddie yesterday. He's going to sign some sweaters for us. Troy Murray. So, yeah, we've got a great pool of gifts that we're going to auction off with Matt O'Shea. And we got the Emerald Society coming in. It's going to play us in and out of breaks.
Good.
Yeah, and Matt O'Shea was supposed to be with us. I'm not sure what happened, but we're glad that he has gotten behind us.
It was his idea.
Yeah.
And it was on Big John's show in here. I was sitting where you were sitting, Andrea. Matt was over here. He was talking about it, and I've got this look on my face like, I don't understand how this is even something that happens.
Right.
And then off the air we were talking about, I'm like, we need to do something and create a show dedicated to just this, and which is what I've done. I've dedicated an entire show. I've got another radio show. I've got a radio show on another station on Saturdays.
Well, they should have one over there. I'm glad it's yours.
Well, okay, thanks for that. I'm sure they appreciate that. But I'm very happy with it, and stay in the lines, and I'm very happy. So between 10 and 1 tomorrow, I've got the superintendent,
Snelling.
Chief Snelling, coming on. We've got surviving family wives of Officer Bauer, who was
Commander
shot.
Bauer, yeah.
Commander Bauer, sorry, who was shot.
Yep.
She's coming on. There was another surviving wife of an officer who got killed in the line of duty, and she's going to talk about what the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation did for her and her family.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got the executive director of the Chicago Police Memorial Foundation coming on. We've got an officer who got a new vest that day, responded to a shooting, and the vest saved his life.
Right.
So I mean, it's story after story after story. We've got the chaplain who Father Brandt. If you've ever met him, he's completely insane and not right in so many different ways that are all great. He's going to be on the show as well. So yeah, it's just going to be trying to raise awareness and raise funds. That's all we're doing.
And as much as
Absolutely.
you think today's Friday, it's actually your show's Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting in the mindset.
As you said, tomorrow.
Oh,
Don't
tomorrow?
confuse the listener.
Okay, sorry.
This weekend.
I've been on a roll here.
But you could start donating now.
I forgot
if you
about
want to make a
Zanies.
donation.
Forgot about Zanies bending over backwards and opening their doors, doing a show for us, and raising thousands of dollars.
I think it was the slamming me that I had the issue. It wasn't
Right.
Zanies that you forgot. It
Oh,
was
you're
the
getting
fact that you
sensitive
slammed
on me now?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I can't afford to.
And by the way, I just got a note here that Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is contributing $1 billion.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know if you're ever going
good.
to see it or where it's coming
Right.
A couple of her billboards.
Monopoly money.
She's a piece of work. She's amazing. I mean, just she's like I said this about our mayor that Mayor Johnson, like he's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm every day when he has a press conference. So is she.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like Rex and Recreation, whatever that.
Right.
Oh, Parks and
Parks
Recreation.
and
Yeah, yeah.
That's
No,
like,
actually, Rex and Recreation. That's actually good.
Yeah, no, that would be the show.
CPD Vest, Chicago Police Department, CPDVest.com. If your listeners could go and just donate whatever they can to help us raise.
It's a huge deal,
enough money.
peeps.
It really is.
Huge deal.
Everybody that comes into the city of Chicago, once you cross that line, the men and women of the Chicago Police Department are protecting you. You fly into Midway, you fly into O'Hare. When you land, the men and women of the Chicago Police Department are protecting you. So I don't give a crap where you live in this area.
I agree.
Your
I don't
officers
care if
are
you've never
protecting.
been to Chicago.
Right.
It's just the right thing to do.
And why the city and this
It's inexplicable.
It's unbelievable. It's disgusting, and we've got to do something to help the men and women of the Chicago Police Department be safe. So when they get up in the morning, they are protected, so they could go home at night to
Absolutely.
their families. That's all we're trying to do.
And by the way, when you call 911, you want the police to respond.
Right. You don't want a social worker showing up. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Put the gun down,
It's
please.
just funny when you think about it. There are just some basic things you need to do your job, right? Whatever your job is. Andre and I were talking yesterday. There's a local TV station that has joined all the other local TV stations where they're no longer providing makeup for the people on TV.
Yeah.
Now, generally speaking, that's a fairly important part of being on TV. However,
Yes.
it's not as important as a bulletproof vest
Yes.
for a cop.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. It blows my mind that every town, I'm friends with a lot of police chiefs, and every police chief that I talk with says, yes, of course, it's in the line budget. Now, some people say, well, they get a uniform allowance. Okay, here, Zippy, let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
That uniform allowance goes to covering shoes and boots, your trousers.
Well, and Andre has educated me on this. They have to buy from a specific
Yes.
vendor.
Oh my
right?
God! And it's what the budget? What is $600 or
Yes.
whatever it is? But to buy an entire uniform, it's well over $1,200.
Yeah, it's over $1,000. And then they got to buy their gun. They got
Yes.
to take care of. They got to buy their bullet. You have winter gear,
hold on a
rain
second.
gear,
That's the other thing. We don't have time to do this now, but they got to buy their gun.
Yes, and the bullets.
and the
They
bullets.
have to buy their gun.
Yes.
And they've got to train on proficiency so they could,
And it's just
Right, 2
unbelievable.
to 4 times a year.
It's absolutely so. All of
crazy.
the bullets you got to use and you got to replace. So
Yep.
it's ridiculous. And these men and women have families. Okay,
And I
and
bitch about making sure I have parking here at the tower.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, David Hochberg, for
No,
everything
thank
you
you.
do. What is the
Thank
website
you.
again?
CPDVest.com. And special shout out to John DeCos and the folks at Zanies in
Love
Sorry,
it.
I've
Rosemont.
already blown that connection.